Just me and y'all today. Coach got a basketball game. I ain't even heard from King. I think Sega's sick. Trap was supposed to be here in 1 minute. That was 5 minutes ago. Right? But we here. Yeah, we right here. Straight up. Yeah, maybe I can. It's funny because yesterday while Coach was training me, so Coach is a really great basketball coach. Like, I'm really good at paying attention to things that most people don't pay attention to. Coach is good enough. Coach Will is good enough to coach an NBA pro team. And he, had an amateur career in boxing. He's like a really good trainer. Like, he's a really good friend. I could tell you we've probably been friends for 2-3 years, but I could tell you he's a really good friend. He a bull though. You know what I mean? For sure, he's a bull. But yesterday, while he was training me, right? So yesterday I walked 4.5 miles, and then I go train last night. We throwing hands. Mind you, I'm in the whole 2 months of training. I got to pay the man. We training. And he's trying to convince me that I was tripping Wednesday. I thought that was funny. He was really trying to convince me that I was tripping Wednesday. Like he was in agreement with me and I was tripping. And I was explaining to him, I was saying, man, Coach, look, it's not about, right? Do you think snitching is wrong? It's about giving people the alternative of why they should not stay silent in these situations. He asked me, did I think people were stupid? And I told him, I said, nah, Coach, I don't think people stupid. I think people don't have enough time to figure out the right things, so they come to other people to help guide them. The average person, that's my age at this point is raising children. They got grandchildren. They got a job. They probably got a couple. It's like a spouse or significant other. They don't have a lot of time to research ideas or to even care about ideas. It's like when we talk about the streets. The average person learns about the streets, right, through hip hop. That's how the average person learn about the streets, through entertainment. That's how, and that's a fact. So we become the way that they learn about the streets. Right? We become the way that they learn about the streets. Hip hop. Hip hop tells you how people are talking in the streets, what people think is fresh in the streets, how people conduct themselves. I put together a cultural ABC. Right? And it's been one of my greatest tools in my ability to make art in hip hop. I put together a cultural ABC. That's these different ways
What's Z?
to understand culture.
What's Z?
So, right, art and literature, that's how you can actually show culture. Like in our world, graffiti is art. Buildings, places that street urban culture think the building is special, right? Which is like the Slauson swap meet. That's why one of Nip's greatest apparel moves is the Slauson swap meet Supermall shirt, the sweater. The one that's
Is that where that font come from?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
That's a building. That's a building that to us mean the world. To regular people, they don't give two damns about the Slauson swap meet?
Regular people say you shouldn't go there.
Because they don't know. Communications and transportation. The chirp. That's how we celebrated the chirp. Lowriders. That's how we get around. That's transportation. Dress, whether that's Dickies. The long story short is there's a ton of them that you can understand why. And I know you don't quite understand what's happening, but it's only so much any of us can give you. It's only so much Jay-Z can give you about growing up in that part of Brooklyn in the Marcy projects. Some of this stuff, 90% of it, you're going to have to go there and to really understand it.
But that's why when I tell you that that it's going to expand, the hip hop is going to expand even further and further because we don't know what the culture of hip hop, you know what I'm saying, look like. You always go against in Montana, in Iowa, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but again, in these conversations, cult is the prefix of culture. So there may not be a street urban culture there because there may not be a place specifically that they can gather in mass and create a movement that's a niche movement. You know what I mean? Like what makes the reason why the Bronx, New York City is such an integral and a centerpiece in the generating power of hip hop is because so many people live there. People on top of each other. So people pick up mannerisms and the niche culture becomes a big number.
All right, but when you say cult, right? So cult means culture, cult meaning group, right?
Very
so it's gonna, huh?
Yeah, same practices, same everything. They start to practice the same. But the key word is urban. Because you need a dent, like it won't work if it's not a lot of us together packed in to make it work. Urban doesn't mean black. Shout out to the table. Much love, y'all. We're gonna get to it. Urban doesn't mean black. I know that's how America projects it, but it doesn't mean black. Urban means densely populated. Street is where crime, right, is there. Like it's a standard. It shapes how we live. And it doesn't have to be the people in the actual community are committing the crime. It could be the fact that the educational programs are so bad. That's a crime against humanity. There's so many different ideas that you can artistically take from this. But the catch is urban, densely populated. That's what makes New York City the epicenter of hip hop, the beginning, the origin, and the strongest place it's ever had. Because it's that densely populated. That densely populated. So not just culture. Like shout out to what's that group that was in Texas? Waco? That's a cult.
Yeah.
But it would be hard for them to create a movement throughout the country or throughout the world because it's not enough of them. Right? That's a cult. So they can create a culture. There you go, no cut, the Davidians. Right? But that don't mean that they can create something that spreads across the United States because it's too few of them. That's the reason why New York City was able to generate this power, just like Los Angeles when it came to gangbanging. Our niche cultures are huge. They're great numbers. So hip hop in New York, the niche culture of street urban people in New York is different because it's so overpopulated that the niche culture could be this huge number, but it's still a niche group of people compared to the overall New York City population. I don't love to yell at the chat.
I told him.
No, I don't love to yell at the chat. I do not love to yell at the chat. I don't love to yell at the table. Like, what I'm hoping for is that we're building. That's my goal. My goal is for us to build. But we do have to have some of these things have to be conceded before we start. right? Sometimes it's hard for people to realize that they don't know the most about street urban culture. And that's a hard thing to believe today because we've had hip hop so long and it feels so educational. It feels like there's 1,000 things that we all know the same about. No, we don't. Like, I don't know about where you grew up at just because I watch. Like, I've watched The Office a lot of times, but I would not really believe that I understand Office.
He said, I don't know nothing about Dawson Creek.
Exactly. You can watch Dawson's Creek.
I don't know nothing about Dawson Creek.
I've watched Stranger Things. I don't know about what's the name of that town? Hawkins.
What's the name of that town? Yeah, Hawkins.
Hawkins. The traditions of Hawkins, I don't know. I just watched the television show as entertainment and I digested it. So it starts there. Right? But as far as New York City, that's going to be one of the largest niche cultures in the country.
It's a fact.
Right? It's different. So that's why they were able to generate the power and it became contagious to all of us and how we express ourselves artistically and creatively with this thing we call hip hop. Because the Bronx, because the greater New York City, if you go to Queens, it's that densely populated. So the street urban people is a huge number. It's not the overall number. It's still a minute number in the grand scale of population in Queens, but the street urban culture there, those people who grew up that way, that's a huge population of people. And it's one of probably bigger than all the rest of ours. Part of it's how it's constructed. They are all on top of each other. It's different. Everything falls to the floor. Like everybody gets it. Even people that didn't grow up in street urban culture in New York City, right? People gonna come across of it so much. Back to the point though.
My bad.
So I'm telling Coach, it's all good. Y'all do this to me all the time. I was telling Coach, he felt he didn't have a responsibility. And I was expressing to him, if you give people an out, they will take an out. You have to press upon their soul. You have to press upon their soul value and accountability. That's the hardest thing. That's what y'all raise your children to do. Shout out to all y'all got a kid. That all y'all got kids, Coach, Trap, Sega. You know, everybody who got kids, Kiki, everybody I know that got kids. Right? You're trying to teach your kids accountability their whole life, whether you know it or not. You're trying to teach them how to be accountable for themselves, to take care of themselves. You're trying to teach them all of these things to stand up and be accountable. That's what most men are trying to teach their children. So we was having this long conversation and we came to a conclusion that I feel like he still didn't quite get what I was saying, but I think he got it. But this morning, I wake up, first thing I see is Young Thug saying, fuck the streets, tagging.
No, he didn't say that.
21 Savage. Yes. I woke up to 2 tweets. I woke up to a tweet that Kanye West actually admitted that his music was pop music and he always knew what he was making from the beginning. He said he just didn't mind. He just said they didn't mind that they was classifying it as hip hop.
This motherfucker.
He always thought he was making pop music.
Motherfucker.
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. Let me read it. That's what I want to do, responds West. I do like pop art. I do think I'm a pop artist, but in the true sense of the phrase, I'm an artist and I'm truly popular. I always considered the albums to be pop music. Look how many albums I sold. It must have been somewhat popular. I just think that people always knew that, but it stayed under the title of hip hop or whatever. Now it's all outdoors that it's pop.
Yeah. I always knew that his music came off Cheeseball. I always knew that shit, though, dude. You right. You right. I'm gonna say that for him. I'm gonna start by saying that. You right. I always knew his music was Cheeseball. He was fooling me with them soulful ass beats. You know what I mean? The music always the lyrics came across cheese bowlish to me. Like I always tell people, that's why people would say, yo, he's one of the top lyrics. Like, man, that boy ain't no top lyricist, nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? That shit is cheese bowl, man. So he was putting it out like that to basically cater to the others. You know what I mean?
And it's not, and again, it's nothing wrong with a brother being pop.
I think he was stating towards being popular, though.
No, he intended for his music to be digestible to the masses.
Yeah.
He created it with that in mind. It's part of why he sped up the samples to knock the soul out of them. It's to remind us who was in touch with that soul, hey, this is where I got this from. So you scrape the bottom of it, and then you create everything else. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, like, it is something wrong with that.
It's not, because Michael Jackson did the same thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Drake did the same thing. There's nothing wrong with that.
But Mike did it once he was in there, and like he Jackson 5. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm off the wall. You know what I mean? He established, you know, I'm rocking with y'all, baby. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Then he went over to Thriller. You know what I'm saying? Rock with Off the Wall wasn't, that shit was black music completely.
It was disco.
No, it wasn't pop.
No, it was disco at a time when white people had took over disco.
Black disco. But yeah, Mike ain't do it the same way like that Kanye did that shit.
I'm not saying, I mean, the approach is the same in creating. When you're creating a pop, that's all pop is. But I've heard this 1 million times. Like, right, where I keep saying the same goddamn thing, and then the artists say the same shit I keep saying.
Yo, man, come on, get man. Okay, you right, bro.
It's not about me. It's not about me being right, Trap. I swear, I'm not tripping off that. I'm saying, how the fuck am I the only one that can see this?
Because you the only one that got the glasses on, B. You know what I mean?
The point I'm saying is, what I'm telling, so again, to the point, back to accountability. Like right now, so Young Thug is saying, fuck the streets. The streets made him a millionaire. The streets made him a millionaire. The streets made you a millionaire. Saying you was a blood made you a millionaire. People thinking you was a stand-up dude made you a millionaire.
I think that
the only reason you wore that dress and got it off is because people thought you was actually some level of street. That's Thug. I get it. Y'all are in some tough times. Y'all are in some tough times. I get it. It feels like it's so tough. I don't know if the truth, and if y'all ever notice, I really do handle 21's brand with care, because 21 is somebody I've came across 21 in conversations. I've spoken with him across apps. So I'm really going to handle his name with care, but damn it, I got to call a spade a spade. You, me, none of us are above the program. And I get it. It's easy for the streets right now to become victimized by mainstream. Mainstream is tired. Like, I saw some dude talking so much shit about ghetto people yesterday. This is the time to talk shit about poor black people. This is the greatest time in the world. The greatest time in the world to talk shit about poor black people is today. You're going to benefit so much talking shit about poor black people. Fuck the streets is you saying fuck poor black people in Atlanta. Shout out to the real streets of Atlanta. They made you a millionaire, bro. They made y'all a millionaire. When all of us was saying, man, you niggas sound crazy, you niggas is wearing dresses, when all the rest of the ghettos around the country was saying, man, what's up with you niggas? You know who held y'all down? The streets of Atlanta. That's who held y'all down. The streets of Atlanta. Thug, with niggas around this motherfucker was looking at you crazy. You know who spoke right about you? Killer Mike. Big Boy. The streets of Atlanta, when all of us was looking at y'all crazy, when you had that sword in your face, 21, you had that fucking sword, and you sounded like, to people, you sounded like you couldn't read at a third grade level, because that's what they thought when they heard you rap. Before they heard you interview and heard your intellect, when they thought you couldn't even speak properly, they thought you was slow, they thought all this old crazy shit. You know who held you down? The streets of Atlanta. Now that you millionaires, now that y'all up, now that y'all actually had to be accountable for some bad decisions you made, right? If you got into this whole thing with that, what's a young boy from the A that was in jail too? Lucci, you had all that silly shit going on with all these millions of dollars, and y'all was over there acting a fool, breaking the law and doing your thing and trying to find your own justice based off whatever you had, and you had to be accountable, and it cost you some of your progress in the business. Now it's fuck the streets of Atlanta? No. Fuck your decisions, homie. Fuck your decisions. I think all of y'all in therapy, because therapy the only thing in the world that make everybody else blame everybody else. I think therapy the only thing that make you feel unaccountable, and it's everybody else's fault. But 21 say the streets ain't brought us nothing but trauma. That's a lie. When we thought you was from England and we started to question like how much of a real A-town nigga could you be? Exactly, Reed. That's a great point. When we figured out you was actually English, you was here on a green card and you got deported. You got deported and niggas was like, oh man, this nigga is tea and crumpets. You know who held you down and stayed with you? The streets of Atlanta. No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, noon Pacific Standard Time, noon Pacific Standard Time, right here on No Ceilings by Glasses Malone YouTube page. Click that like button real quick. Right now, double tap your screen if you're on your phone on YouTube. If you're on your laptop, your iPad, click that like button. If you're on Twitter, retweet this link. Tag 21. Tag Thug, fuck it. If you're on Twitter. If Big Boy ain't gonna tell him, I got him. If Mike ain't gonna, if Killer ain't gonna tell him, I got him. If CeeLo ain't gonna tell you, I got you. I tell you. If it means we ain't gonna be friends, fuck it. Thug, we already was where we was at with it. Cause I didn't like that little bullshit you said. And I was on your ass like a silk quilt, but you deserved it because you knew you was disrespecting a bunch of grown-ass men. 21, you know I fuck with you, but you out of line. That's fucked up that you want to shit on the streets of Atlanta right now because you definitely ain't shitting on the streets of LA. So you only could be shitting on the real streets of Atlanta. If you're on Twitter, retweet this link. If you're on Facebook, share this post. We do this stream to support the No Ceilings podcast. Just dropped a great episode. Enjoy it. It's fire. We finna ramp it up to 2 times a week. You know what I mean? Drop it 2 a week. You can listen to the No Ceilings podcast on Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast from. No Ceilings podcast, executive produced by Charlamagne the God, the Black Effect Podcast Network, and iHeart. What up, P?
Oh, shit. What's up?
I'm on my live stream problem, so if you don't say nothing crazy.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm glad you said something.
And they can hear you. And they can hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I was just saying, I just saw that G Herbo tweeted the streets is dead.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I'm finna get to it. I'll send you the link.
Oh, okay. Well, shit, man, y'all have a good one.
My boy.
What's up with them, man?
I don't know. Maybe they feel like this is what people want to hear.
I mean, I think they gotta put some. I think if they saying this, they need to put some context behind it, though. Know what I'm saying? because just to say it like that, you know what I'm saying, and not having no context to go along with it, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like if you telling the kids, yo, listen, man, all that shit that's going on out in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, go to school, do this, that, you know what I'm saying? Like stay out of the bullshit. If that shit, man, if you saying it like that, then by all means. But
why would you need to say it that way?
But saying which way?
You don't have to tell people fuck the streets to stay in school. You can just tell them to stay in school.
That's what I'm saying.
You could just tell them to stay in school.
Yeah, but you gotta. Well, if they don't way in school, where they gonna be at? In the streets. So it's just
listen. Black
what
people.
What do you get? What do you get when they saying fuck the streets? What do you think? What are you getting like this? They saying though, basically.
Fuck.
I mean, you already said fuck poor black people, okay?
Because it's not like crime is unique to the streets. It's not like nothing that's happening in what you would call the streets is unique to the streets.
You know what crazy, yo? Is that old boy was the first one pushing that fucking that whole shit.
Who?
Troy Ave, when he said that streets is a myth shit.
I always find it funny that after they realize they cannot be accountable at the highest levels, they start talking shit about the streets. Show me one of them that's saying it before it happened.
Yeah.
Show me where it's at when you was making your songs that went platinum and you was talking about the streets.
Yeah.
Why do you always have this brilliant stream of consciousness after it's time to be accountable for the life you wanted to live in the streets? What happened with Troy Ave and Taxstone had nothing to do with the streets. Both of them brothers was successful. Both of them brothers was out of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them brothers was out of the neighborhood. Both of them brothers. Taxstone had a burgeoning.
Taxstone was through the roof. He was on the way.
Shout out to Charlamagne for believing in Taxstone, because Charlamagne is one of the people that don't really get credit for really believing in other brothers that come up from the streets.
Yeah,
he believed in Tax, and he did his best. And Tax was shining because Tax is a brilliant dude. Troy Avenue had a hit record or two.
It's all about the motherfucking money.
I love that fucking song. He even said some raggedy shit about Dot that I never forgot.
Yeah, he did.
He tried to call Dot a weirdo because he was pushing his line of positivity and trying to do it and pushing the same energy you trying to do now through negativity. And you called him weird for it. But soon as you do some bullshit because you popping it at an all-time high level, and you know what I'm talking about, Troy, you popping it with this man. You talking crazy with this man on these things, and y'all talking crazy to each other about what y'all do to each other. And then y'all see each other and you go to do it, and now it's time to be held accountable. Now it's the streets' fault. No, it's your fault.
Crazy
that can happen in everything of life, every walk of life. That same idiot mentality can happen. And you got to be okay when it's time to pay the piper. When it's time for accountability, it got to be okay. It cannot be the streets is a myth now, because now that you're in trouble to have to deal with it. And I noticed that that's the recurring theme consistently. The lack of accountability. Now it's the streets' fault. Oh, now with 21, the streets ain't brought us nothing but trauma because Gunna and Thug were profiting off of a life that they declared the Atlanta streets. Because I've been to the streets of Atlanta a lot of times at this point in my life. I know some pretty prolific Atlanta street guys. They don't have to act like that. Some of my partner right now is in construction. Tip is doing comedy. There's a ton of guys. Killer Mike is having the time of his life. Big Boy is on boats, fishing, grilling lobster because he don't eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
CeeLo is around this motherfucker winning all these guys. Shout out to Gip. All of the street guys from Atlanta that I remember are just fine. All of the street guys that I remember growing up to in Atlanta, or that's my age, they're just fine. When Tip got in trouble, he did not blame the streets. He did not be like, oh, it's the streets' fault. He explained his plight. He said, you know what? These New Orleans dudes was moving here. I had to buy these guns. I got myself in trouble. He just said, hey, you know what? Well, fuck the streets, because now y'all make it like I got to protect my. No, he ate his accountability. He shamed himself. He went on the show. He never made no excuses for it. But all of a sudden now, with y'all, it's the streets' fault. I'm not letting y'all blame the real streets of Atlanta. I've been to the real streets of Atlanta. Every time I go, I stay in the real streets of Atlanta. I see brothers in the real streets of Atlanta all the time. I see it all the time. But all of a sudden, y'all, it's the streets' fault. It's the streets' fault. Oh, man, Gunna, you and Gunna need to make up. No, y'all don't. You do not want friends that are not man. You should never want a friend that is too big to apologize when he's wrong. The only people you should not take apologies from, or you ain't tripping, if it's a woman. That's the only person in this world that you should be letting. If you gonna let somebody get away with no accountability, that motherfucker better have a pussy. If you let somebody with a penis get away with a lack of accountability, you, my friend, are your biggest problem. You are your biggest problem. No, listen. You don't want to try to hold a woman accountable. Just stop wasting your time. God willing, the ones that you're around do, but that's the only person in this world you're supposed to let get away with not having accountability. Your daughter, your old lady, your woman, your mom. That's it. All men, no. Men, no. And if you foster that mentality in men, you get bitch ass niggas. That's what a bitch ass nigga is. He's a man acting like a woman. So no, I didn't listen when Troy Ave said the streets are dead.
Streets is a myth.
Or the streets is a myth. I never listened to him because he didn't say that when he was talking about it's all about the money. He was talking about hustling in the streets and making a living in the streets. It was cute. You was platinum. You got paid from the streets. As soon as it's time to be accountable for decisions you made in the circumstances where you thought this was the correct decision and now you were held accountable. Now, when you actually decide that you're going to inform the police and violate accountability, it's the streets' fault. No, it's a myth. You got to do. No, it's your fault. I think y'all missing something with accountability. I'll be honest. I think y'all missing possibly the next renaissance in hip hop without accountability. Because what you're doing now, none of us gonna just take your shit serious. And that's not to say you not no man and you ain't gonna throw your hands and you ain't gonna pop no pistol. I'm not saying none of that stuff is just, it don't make that. But it's a level of masculinity that people can respect that's pure when you come from where we come from. Be a man. When it's time to go, pick the way you leave. Don't suck a dick to stay alive.
Pause.
And that's what it comes across right now. It's like y'all are willing to do whatever because you're trying to stay in the business. You're not passing a positive message. I get the concept, like Trap is saying. I get the concept of you trying to blame the streets for the decisions you make. But nothing in the streets says you have to not go to school. Nothing in the streets says you cannot go to school and become a doctor. Nothing in the streets says you cannot go to school and become a police officer. Nothing in the streets says none of this. Nothing in the street says you have to do drugs. Nothing in the street says you have to sell drugs. The streets don't say that. They provide an opportunity in a place that don't have a lot of opportunity to the best of its ability. So if you broke and you want to take the easy route, you don't want to go work at McDonald's. Like when I grew up, when it was $4.25, man, shit, if you want to get some money, it's some money right here. Or you can walk your motherfucking funky ass to that McDonald's. It's a choice. It's a choice. Now, I'm not saying that I don't understand systemic oppression and I understand how to make a living. I totally get it. And I'm not blaming the streets for decisions that they make, but I will blame you if you make that decision and you don't be accountable. It's one thing to go do your time and come out and tell kids, you know what? Man, it's true. The systemic oppression messed it up, but be ready to do your time. When I was going to jail, I was ready to do my time. Every time I went, I was ready to be in jail. I didn't tell the police, hey, I don't want to be here. Whatever I need to tell y'all to stay away from it. I went to jail and I was fine. I'm not excusing the systemic oppression as a part of the reasons that where we grow up exists. I totally get it. Totally get it. But you got to be okay when it's time to pay the piper because we know we exist in this world and that McDonald's job is possible. Every time I went to jail, I never in my life got on this stream. I never got in my life, got on this thing. My mama died in prison. My mama got sentenced to 240 months. She died in federal prison. I never blame the system. I never blamed the system. My mama didn't blame the system. My daddy didn't blame the system. My mama died in prison. She didn't tell. She didn't cry. She didn't whine. She never did that. She showed me how to fucking be an adult and be responsible for the fucking decisions you make. She died in that motherfucker, man. You bitch ass niggas can't even do your little simple time. A woman with a vagina that birthed 2 sons died in there to stand up and be responsible and accountable for the decisions she made. And you punk ass, she never one time said, fuck the streets. She never blamed the streets. She never blamed the streets. She chose a lifestyle she wanted and she went after it. Stop blaming the fucking streets for your decisions, man.
You know they're gonna be saying next, right?
What's that?
Fuck hip hop.
Fuck the streets is saying fuck hip hop. That's why I'm fucking upset.
Yep. That's what's coming next.
That's what they're saying. Because there is no hip hop without the streets. Every last person that y'all think was hip hop has went out of their way to say they not street or they make pop music. Every person I ever questioned, I told you, I said, look, and I still love their music because I love Michael Jackson's music. Of course I love Kanye's music. I just liked it more when it was authentically him. Not when he was trying to appeal with me with the first 3 albums, is when I felt like he was just like, fuck what I thought. And he was going to be himself. That's the version I preferred. But I kept telling the homies, I'm like, bro, that shit pop music. With Drake, I think Drake, and now he said it. And now Drake is saying the same thing. Drake is like, yeah, I make pop music. That was always his sentiment. Why the fuck are you mad at me or people mad at me? Because I'm telling you what he's doing. I'm not dissing them. I'm not saying nothing else outside of the fact that this is what they do. But again, everybody want to benefit from a lifestyle that you know what people really respect about the streets? That you're willing to be accountable for what you do. You're willing to go out on your shield. That's why people respect soldiers.
Yeah.
I'm tired of every time I talk, I gotta kind of figure it out because I don't want to I don't want to exist in no world where I can't be honest on like what I see, on what I see, or what I can figure out. Like if Ye don't want to fuck with me because I'm saying he makes pop music and he feels like it carries a negative connotation, don't fuck with me, bro. If Ross don't want to fuck with me because I can say that what he does is like, as much as I revere it and I buy the albums and I support him and I always been great and I'm grateful for him featuring on my song, You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't say, hey, man, you know what? Yes, he created this world where kind of like it's a fantasy. Like, and it's that's it. Like, if I can't be honest about what I'm doing, it's gonna say, man, I don't want to help Glasses win. You never was my partner in the first place. If lying to the people is more important than being real with me, we can't really fuck with each other. And I agree with all of these people. Like, I don't want to fuck with y'all neither. That's what I was saying on the last stream, and I was confirming the coach. I don't want to build with people. That's bullshit. Not even for money. I don't want to wake up sore for money.
Pause.
I hate when you reduce this down to street as if this is this is a man. Street is man. Primitive, functioning man. I'm already in a fucked up situation, so I'm gonna make the most out of it, and I'm gonna be stand up the whole time, and I'm gonna deal with it. And it's everything. The only thing that's a violation are things that's violating any man. If you with your old lady, I don't give a fuck if you from the nicest suburban place in America, and some man is trying to demean you, and you don't stand up for yourself. It's one thing to walk past that man and ignore him, but a man slapping you upside your head, a man bullying you, and you don't stand up, you considered a punk in every place of the world. I'm not saying crash out for money. I'm not saying crash out for nothing. I'm telling you, be a man. And that's what's pissing me off right now. All these people not being a man. You said fuck the streets made you. The streets made you.
So, by them saying this, do you feel like their content of their music is going to change?
I hope so. I hope they stop talking about their experiences in this place that they can't stand.
Yeah.
Now y'all mad at us because we like y'all full of shit. Well, y'all full of shit. This y'all fault. Y'all full of shit. Y'all the ones told us y'all was street. Y'all the one told us the streets was this and that, and you love the streets and you wonder what happened to the street. You said it. Y'all said it. You was trying to convince us that you was King Slime. You're trying to convince us that you street. We didn't ask if you were. You sold us that because you knew it was a value. You knew that 1%er lifestyle had a value. But here's the value, that you are the ultimate sense of accountability. We expect the average man to not stand up for himself. We expect the average man to put living above everything. That's an expectation of the average man. Put living above everything. This 1% of lifestyle that you lied and told everybody you was, this is the expectations of it. That you gonna go all the way out. That you gonna stay on your shield. You gonna ride it out. That's what cowboys were. That's what the mob was. That's what the mafia was. That's what all outlaws is. That 1%. And that 1% was good enough to make you a millionaire. But now that 1% now is like, it ain't paying no more. Fuck it. That sounds like some regular mainstream American shit to me. That sounds like some regular mainstream shit American to me. Now, fuck, oh, the streets ain't shit. Fuck the street. I bet. But I'm glad you said it. Because I told everybody before you said it, that's how you really felt. I tell Trap all the time what I think niggas really feel and what they really mean. I don't say it publicly because I be wanting it to come true and I don't want niggas to keep hiding it. I'm glad you told everybody. I'm glad I get to call all my homies who act like that you was this stomped down street nigga, and I get to tell them I told you. He wasn't.
Makes you feel good, huh?
No. I wanted to make you feel bad. I want you to stop thinking that somebody would wear a dress and the one thing they would be is street. We are truly watching the party die, bro. That party that all these people been partying with over the last 15 years, we're watching that party die. Shout out to the young homie as a prophet. We're watching that party die.
That's a fact.
Meanwhile, the streets of Los Angeles was at the niggas in Gardens last night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they was in the projects, huh?
So while that version of whatever they think, because that ain't the streets of Atlanta. I don't quite know what that shit is. I don't know what them niggas talking about, because Mike, shout out to Killer Mike, shout out to Big Boy, shout out to CeeLo, shout out to Tip, shout out to Gip, shout out to all them cold dudes, Toomp, and all these other dudes that come from the streets of Atlanta. That's just fine. They just fine. So I don't know what y'all rep, but the streets of the West Coast, they was in the projects last night.
So what was that about? What was that?
The TDE annual toy drive. They've been doing it now for about 13, 14 years.
Fire.
They brought Snoop and Dre to the Nickerson Gardens.
That's fire.
They brought Snoop and Dre to the Nickerson Gardens. They brought Kendrick Lamar and SZA to the Nickerson Gardens. They brought the whole TDE staff, Rock, Q, Soul, everybody to the Nickerson Gardens. They had Chef Boy there. They had Ash Bash. They had all the streets there. Everybody was there. That's what the streets of Los Angeles was doing. That's what the streets of Los Angeles was doing. Even if people, Dr. Dre, who's all this money, all these billionaires, all this shit in the world, he ain't never came out and said, fuck the streets. And yesterday, he went to the projects. He said, I'm going to go rap in the Nickerson Gardens. Man, I'm so proud to be from the West. I'm so proud of the real streets worldwide, bro. I'm so proud of the real streets worldwide. I'm so proud of Killer Mike. I'm so proud of Scarface and Willie D and Common and Lupe and Jay and Nas and all the people who figured out a way. Anybody who don't get into their position and start shitting on poor black people. That's what I'm happy about. But that's what the streets of Los Angeles was doing yesterday. They was in the Nickerson Gardens. And then they doing a toy drive today.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
The streets don't need none of us. The streets don't need none of us. Honestly, most of us end up needing the streets at some place in our life. The streets don't need none of us. The streets don't need none of us. We're going to need the streets. Shout out to the streets for standing strong. I know y'all really want the end of hip hop. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I know y'all want the end of hip hop. Y'all never liked it in the first place. I can see how you talk about anybody that contributed it, the way you talk to the foundational people that contributed it.
Yeah,
if
that's
you talk shit about KRS-One, you don't really love hip hop.
At all.
You talk shit about Melly Mel, you don't really love hip hop.
Well,
if you talk shit about Ice-T, you don't really love hip hop. If you talk shit about Run DMC, Fat Boy, you don't love hip hop, bro. If you talk shit even about NWA, I question your love for hip hop. And it's the same thing I tell Trap. If we talk shit about drill, then we don't love hip hop. It's our job to get the information that these young brothers is going through and try to help them and fix their shit, because we can't argue about their reality. We can't argue that that's their reality. We supposed to be getting this information and standing up and doing the right things with it and trying to get into it and figure out, man, how can we help these brothers? What's happening? Not get mad that they're expressing themselves in their current circumstances. We should be mad that this circumstances could even take place. How are we mad at the artist that's painting a picture of what's happening in this place? Don't get that old, man. Don't never get that old. Don't never get that old to where you do not care. Now, if it's some rapper making up some life and creating some bullshit on records, fine. But if it's a rapper painting a picture of what's happening somewhere and your outrage is to the artists themselves and not the circumstance, that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, this shit is whack though, man. I really don't like the fact that they because I feel like what's to come after that though is just letting that whole Mickey Mouse shit, you know what I'm saying, be something that's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, approved now. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where it all boiling down to. It's all boiling down to the fact that they looking at it, they looking at it like I think it's definitely a number thing. Both of them came out with their projects. They both had disappointing numbers. They look across the board, they see a nigga who fucking told and looking at his numbers saying like, oh, hold on, so this dude told and they still buying his shit though. So you know what? Fuck the streets.
But the streets, it ain't about the streets buying this shit. The streets ain't fucking with that shit. You selling records to a bunch of people that don't already have no spine in the first place. The streets has always led the conversation when it came to true accountability. The streets was always, Malcolm X is from the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X is a street nigga, was a street nigga. The streets has always led our perspective.
Yeah, man. I wonder if their albums would have did good when they still been saying this type of shit though.
Was they saying it when their music was doing whatever people? I don't think their music is doing even bad enough to have this conversation.
I don't think so either though.
I should be crashing out on the streets because I'm not doing nowhere near as good as them niggas. I should be just crashing out on the streets just like them. What the fuck am I doing? I'm supposed to be crashing out then.
Yeah, man. I need to get like a real. I want to understand, man. Like,
I'm cool.
No, I do. No, I need to understand. Like, what would make you? What would make you take that stance publicly within that shit? Because then you got people like Act. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, yeah, the streets is over with. This, that, this. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. They're at the same time they found a tweet from 2 weeks ago where he was saying the streets is back because 21 Savage is coming out.
But again, people taking his opinion, hopefully, but people taking his opinion as a standard in the streets made Ack a millionaire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody else would have cared about what he was talking about. That annoying little crazy voice only matters because he's talking about one of the most accountable things in a war in life. The streets made Ack a millionaire. The streets made Vlad a millionaire. The streets made Adam a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
The streets made 21 a millionaire. The streets made Thug a millionaire. The streets made Gunna a millionaire. The streets made Herb successful. Where would any of these people be without the streets? Where would they be? Thug would be working at Waffle Kitchen. Waffle
House. Waffle Kitchen.
Thug would be working at Waffle House without this.
I can see him back there on the grill with a hairnet on and all that right there. Yeah. All right.
Where would 21 be without the streets? Where would 21 be without hip hop? Somewhere deported.
He's a smart dude, though. I think he'd probably be doing something.
Where would they be? I just think that shit is hilarious to me. Now it's fuck the streets. Well, do y'all little marketing campaign. I wish nothing but failure.
I wish nothing but failure.
Wish nothing but failure.
I wish you don't succeed. All right. Let's get back to the West name though, man. You gonna pull up over there on them today?
Oh.
The toy drive.
No. I gotta work. I gotta rap.
You gotta be a rapper today.
I'll be a rapper today.
Gotta be a rapper today.
I just feel like I feel like our culture, bro, is so undervalued to the culture itself. I think it's been reduced down so far because of what everybody on the internet is saying to them.
Everybody on the internet, meaning who? What you mean?
Whatever their circus is, because that's what's got them saying fuck the streets. It's not a respect for the street culture of Atlanta. But that's normal. I'm starting to realize that's a standard everywhere.
What, hold on.
The streets made Act a millionaire.
Yeah. Reporting on the streets.
If every day the streets had nothing to talk about, what would Act talk about right now? Why won't he go talk about all of the rappers that ain't from the streets? Why don't he just report on Post Malone or MGK or Taylor Swift? Where would he be if the streets stopped carrying him? Where would he be if the streets stopped carrying him? What would he rap about? I would love to hear him report on Taylor Swift. Show me your stream where you can consistently report on Taylor Swift. She's one of the most famous and successful artists in history. It ain't like she don't have an audience. Start reporting on Taylor Swift. Report on Sam Smith. Taylor, what's her name? Taylor?
Cool. Tyler.
What's Taylor? What's Taylor's name?
What, Tyler? That ain't that name? The African girl?
No, the singer. The girl, the lady, Taylor Swift.
Report on
Sam
Swift.
Taylor Swift, Sam Smith. Report on Post Malone. Just report on them. Let's see how that work out for you. Let's see if them white folks really would care about your opinion on them. I'm tired. I'm with you though, Act. I'm tired of the streets carrying y'all. I'm tired of the streets carrying y'all. I'm with y'all. I'm tired, Thug, of the streets carrying you. I've been tired of it. Once you wore a dress, I thought the streets should have threw you away, and you know that. Once you got on that TV show and said fuck Crips and all that, I thought the streets should have threw you away. I'm tired of the streets carrying y'all. I'm tired of the streets carrying y'all, Act. I'm tired of the streets carrying y'all. Y'all would be nothing without the streets. You would be nothing without them brothers fighting in Chicago and you reporting on it. You would be nothing. And you don't even care about why they really fighting. I'm tired of the streets making y'all unworthy people millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of y'all. You hate the streets, but you with Young Boy. Good point, Killmonger. You with the streets, but you hate the streets, but you with Young Boy at every show. You want to tag along. And I'm mad at Young Boy for letting you walk with him. Because I tell my homeboys, Pun, AD, Problem, Manny, I'm not letting none of these dudes walk with us. See, y'all want to be cool with them. I don't want to be cool with none of them. That's not to say I got a problem with them, but I'm not letting them tag along and get none of this shit. I made that mistake a long time ago. Because I didn't understand that where we grow up and how we grow up has a value. I'm tired of the streets empowering people that don't deserve it. But I think, Trap, is because we don't value the culture. I genuinely think it's because we don't value the culture, dog. It's just something that we innately have. It's natural. We don't even care to, even right now with Crippin' and Bloodin', most gangbangers don't know who started their neighborhood. Most gangbangers don't know the first two Crips. Most gangbangers don't know when Crips started. Most gangbangers don't know nothing. Yet Dennis Hopper cared. Guess what? Dennis Hopper made $70 million with a film in 1987 called Colors, or 88. It's crazy to me. Like hip hop, I watch people talk shit about KRS-One, and I'm like, the nerve of you niggas.
Yeah. That always whenever somebody goes back and speaks down on the roots, you know what I'm saying, that basically this tree of hip hop stands on, you know what I'm saying? I find that shit really disrespectful though, man. You know what I mean?
Imagine talking shit about your great grandfather.
Yeah.
Man, fuck that nigga. He was a slave, man. He was a bitch. He let them white. What?
Shit is crazy. Shit is crazy. Shit is troll. That's what it really is.
Listen, if we could share hip hop, we could share Crippin' and Bloodin' too. Let's also say that too. Let me start with that. But you're supposed to do it your way. You got to make it work for you. You can't do what everybody else do. We couldn't do the hip hop that they do in New York. It got to fit our landscape. So if you Crippin' and Blood in another town, do it and make sure it fits your landscape. That's it. Outside of that, man, look, it's a culture thing. It don't mean you have to be violent. Crips didn't. It's not a violent thing. People just gonna commit crimes because they poor. You can make it be anything you want it to be. Hell, I'm working on having a Crip scholarship.
What's it gonna be called?
The CRIP Foundation.
CRIP.
Maybe I call it the Raymond Washington Scholarship or the Stanley Williams Scholarship. You can't tell me what to do with this. I know how powerful it could be and I know how filthy it can get. But it's up to you to define how people see it. When people meet Crips, if I'm the first Crip they met, they probably gonna think most Crips really give a fuck. But if you meet a motherfucker that don't care, or they a victim of it, or they feel like it ruined their life, then guess what? Now that you gonna think that that's the worst thing you met is a Crip. But if nothing else, all this stuff is supposed to empower you. It's supposed to empower you in a situation where you're not supposed to have power. In a place where you grow up, that it ain't no power. But somehow they manifest power. They figure out some value in life. They find friends to live and die for. A man is a man on every level. So I think that's the problem. Like, look how valuable the culture is. Look how valuable. Trap, it made academics a millionaire.
Yeah.
A millionaire. It made him internet famous and a millionaire. Look how what it did for Thug. Now all of a sudden the streets created trauma. That's what 21 said. The streets also created a millionaire, 21. It also made you a millionaire. You owe the streets that too. And you owe the streets in New York for that too.
We'll take it.
But somehow you only remember the fact that the streets made, as if the streets had something to do with Thug and Lucci shit going on. That don't got nothing to do with the streets. Both of you niggas was rappers and doing well. Both of you niggas was over hundreds of thousands of dollars doing well. Don't bring that on the streets because you niggas is acting ass. And there's nothing wrong because don't nobody got to know why y'all fighting. That's y'all motherfucking business. But damn it, be accountable. Don't blame the streets for why you was doing that with Thug. Why homie and Thug was going that don't got nothing to do with the streets. What do that got to do with the streets? How would that have something to do with the streets?
It could be taken upon
millionaire.
It could be taken upon that they settled it in the streets like that. You know what I'm saying? And they basically an altercation, everything took place in the streets.
If two white men in Beverly Hills have a problem and it's a car accident and one white man pull out a gun and shoot the other white man, is that in the streets because it's a crime that happened on the pavement? No. It can't just be streets when it's poor black people. Both of them dudes was over the money. They wasn't D-boys that their existence was coming out in the streets. Neither one lived in the streets. Neither one of them lived in the neighborhood. None of that. So that shit don't got nothing to do with the streets. Gunna telling on you don't got nothing to do with the streets. You getting into a Lucci don't got nothing to do with the streets. That's y'all niggas and y'all own problem. Don't put that on the streets of Atlanta. Y'all had enough money to solve y'all problems amicably 1,000,000 times over. Y'all had enough money, enough resources, enough people to solve y'all situation amicably. Don't blame the streets now. That shit raggedy, Trap.
Mm-hmm.
That shit raggedy as hell. Now all of a sudden it's the streets' fault. How? The streets gave you trauma. That's what Thug said. I mean, that's what 21 said the other day. The streets also gave you millions and millions of dollars because you look like you was one of us. What about that part? What about that part? What about the streets made you a millionaire? What about the streets are the reason that you probably still in this country because you have value to this country and you could pay them type of taxes? The streets gave you that. New York streets created hip hop. Streets gave you that artistic expression that you use. The Atlanta streets gave you the story and the validity to make us believe that you actually somebody that came up the hard way. The streets did that for you. So whatever trauma you think the streets did for you, because as somebody who really been through trauma that the streets did, like I've really been through the shit you talking about. And I don't blame the streets for it now. My mama died in prison. I don't blame the streets for it. We grown up. My mom took accountability for her own actions. I'm mad I didn't have enough money to get her out the situation. That's how it worked. That's what being grown is about. That's what being mature is about. That's what being accountable is about. Do better next time. Do better next time. Hold on, Trap. Hold it down for me. Let me grab it.
Yeah. So, mute your mic. Mute your mic. Mute your mic, Glasses. So yeah, so press control D. Yeah, I don't know where Thug. Well, listen. When I'm hearing them say this right here, the first thing I'm immediately thinking is, all right, because y'all know me, y'all been up on here enough for me. I start thinking, man, this is a marketing scam right here, man. Not a marketing scam, but a marketing plan. You know what I'm saying? Now they want to team up right now. You know what I'm saying? Because the numbers, I think Savage numbers came out. Well, he was about like 53,000.
That's not even bad. He didn't have a record.
Yeah, but they looking at it. They're looking at it from his prior album. His last album was 100 and something thousand, like 113,000.
But he did nothing. He did nothing to generate interest on a main scale.
Well, he did his regular rollout that he do though. You know what I'm saying?
He usually has a record. He usually coming off a big record.
Last album, I don't think the last album had a record. I think it was because I spoke to Savage, my man. I fuck with Savage. So the way he normally do his albums is he'll put the album out. You know what I'm saying, without a single, and then determining what comes from after the album comes out. Then that'll be the rollout. That'll be the single that comes out like that. You know what I'm saying? So he'll basically, he calls it like letting the fans choose the single like that. You know what I'm saying? So within the last one, that was Red Rum. You know what I'm saying? That's what came out right there once the album dropped. It's seen the numbers of the Red Rum going up. All right, that's what we're gonna put out right here. So he do it like that. So I really feel like as if, you know what I'm saying, both of their first week numbers were disappointed to them from their prior numbers that they had. You know what I'm saying?
Look, so I totally understand that you feel like the streets is supposed to reward you. I get what Thug could feel when he was the nigga that went to jail and
stayed solid.
He stayed solid. He didn't tell on his crimies, even though he would have been at the top of it, or he didn't tell on his crimies, right? And he came home and he felt like Gunna, who did the exact opposite, got more.
Mm-hmm.
I think the streets fought.
It ain't.
You know what you got that you know what you got that he didn't get. The streets can pay you. The streets can't pay you money. So look, if money means everything to you, you probably should have never said you was in the streets. Because you know the one place that the money don't mean everything to is the streets. You actually got to be the article. Money, if you hang out in the streets and you just got some money, you're going to be a target. You're going to be a victim. You actually got to be a stand-up man. People got to believe that you're straight. So I totally understand if he's looking at Gunna and he's looking at his own situation. He's like, wait a minute, this man told publicly, and I didn't tell in this case, but he's selling 80,000 first week, and I'm not doing good. I'm struggling. Integrity don't always look like money. Respect don't always look like money. And I get it. You're in a position now where money looks incredibly valuable because you got a family, you got responsibilities, you got teams, 1,000 things. You can figure out how to make money again. Gunna will never, ever in life regain respect. Ever. For the rest, he better hope it turn. He needs to go to a pop level, and I don't think it'll happen because he's black as the fucking night. He's a Negro. He a nigga in America. So I doubt he gonna go pop. Because one thing that white folks ain't gonna do is go crazy. They not finna, just like 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine thought he was gonna turn his back on the streets and he was gonna go to the pop world. He's gonna be straight because he told. No. Yeah, when it looked instant like it's gonna work out, but it's not. Because eventually, just like your wife, your kids, as soon as you get into it with them, they're gonna call you a snitch ass nigga. You're never gonna have that respect. So I get it. I can understand the frustration of a thug where you go to jail and then this nigga that told on you in public, right? And he comes home and it feel like he's doing better than you. But you have something, or you had something before that retarded looking video came out. You had something that people can't buy. You had respect. You had integrity. You had admiration. Yes, you didn't have the money you would have liked to have, or the fame, or the current industry standard that this person had. But that's their own journey. I never saw nothing that nobody had that was a bitch ass nigga and thought to myself, man, I would be a bitch ass nigga to get it. I never judged the world for rewarding you wearing a dress and not rewarding me for not. I never felt no kind of way because the streets bought your music and everybody supported your music. That don't got nothing to do with it. So I can get the frustration, maybe even from 21, where 21 looking like, wait a minute. Like I was just speaking up against Gunna and people was mad at me and, well, fuck the streets now. That ain't the streets doing that. Don't confuse this internet and these people on this social media and these people even in these chats with the streets. Look, I'll tell you one thing, homie. I'll tell you something, 21 Thug. Y'all both younger than me, bro. I totally understand it, man. Like, I get it. Being real don't come with a lot of rewards, homie. It's really expensive. You're going to lose some friends. You're going to pass some opportunities. Every journey takes more. Every journey takes longer. You got to work 12 times as hard just to get to a place that somebody, feel me, got there faster. Like, I get it, man. I understand. I know the feeling of being, what it's like being authentic and being real and being and standing up and looking out for your friends and trying to help people. Like, I done helped so many people get out of their situation and tried to help. Man, Pun was a nigga that was finna throw his fucking life away. And I remember coming to him and be like, bro, we're gonna do this shit. You are a gift, nigga. You could do this. And like, nigga, I get what it's like to want to pour into people and it don't feel like it quite happen for you the way you think it should because you were solid. But guess what? The mirror is the true judge of character. The mirror is the true judge of character.
That's a fact.
The mirror, homie. Most people do a million things to not have to see themselves. Most of them pop pills and drink to death because they don't want to see themselves. Most of them avoid the mirror at all costs. And I get it, man. It don't seem like it's valuable. Glasses only got a low rider. Glasses only got this. Glasses don't got mansions. I get it, man. I get it. I know. I just seen so many bitch ass niggas get a bunch of shit. I done seen so many bitch ass, lying ass, front ass niggas get a lot of shit. I don't give a fuck. Me and God so locked in, homie. Me and integrity so locked in. Me and respect so locked in, homie. I wouldn't trade nothing about this journey. We locked in, bro. Me and God locked in. I'm not even studying. I could look at you wearing a dress and niggas think that you a real motherfucker. That shit crazy. But me and God so locked in, man, I'm just happy for you winning anyway. I don't give a fuck. We only don't have a problem when you stop carrying yourself without any accountability, like Gunna. Fuck him. Even now, I ain't never said fuck you. I ain't never still, bro. I still ain't never said fuck you. Because I genuinely think you're trying to find a level of integrity. But when you about to start shitting on the streets of Atlanta and you blaming them, like it's some kind of mentality versus it's your mentality. When 21 Savage is asking what happened to the streets, when you should be asking what happened to you. What happened to you? Your whole premise of this, what happened to the streets, is about them approving Gunna. They didn't approve Gunna. Nobody thinks that's cool. You should be mad at y'all from the first place for allowing this man to fake and be in a situation.
Uh-huh.
Y'all gonna learn to stop selling out the culture. Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna fucking learn. I done had this argument with some cold niggas, man. I done had this argument. I done had this conversation with some cold niggas about selling out street urban culture. I done had some cold legends, some all-time great legends, and telling them you should stop selling out this culture. They may do help me kill. I'm sure to some degree they probably be like, man, fuck G. And if 21 felt some kind of way, I'll hear it. But I hope so I hear it. He's somebody I would like to have a podcast with, sit down and really be on his ass. The hell is wrong with you? How do you logically process talking shit about the streets of Atlanta when the streets of Atlanta made you a millionaire? The nerve of you. I don't give a fuck what Gunna is selling. The streets of Atlanta made you a millionaire. The streets of New York created a fucking art form and an expression and how to put it together. And the streets of Atlanta validated your story and they made you a millionaire together. That's the streets of New York and the streets of Atlanta. Millionaire. The nerve of you to talk shit about either one of them. Ain't this a bitch? You was just wearing a motherfucking I'm a Slut t-shirt with Amber Rose at a slut walk. The streets of Atlanta forgave that goofy looking shit and said, come on, man, you our guy. And presented you to us. It was like, no, he's our guy. It's like, okay, well, let me jam him. Well, this nigga got some jams. My boy Manny is one of his biggest fans. I don't fucking get what the fuck. Like, Thug, nigga, the streets made you a millionaire. Herb, the streets made you successful. There's nobody else. Corporate America never gave you no motherfucking chance. You couldn't have walked your funky ass in corporate America and they gave you no fucking chance. Y'all gotta have some accountability. And that's the problem. That's the thing that come with age, wisdom, and accountability. And don't get me wrong, every old nigga ain't accountable. Shout out to Apple Chili. They do honor money too much. They do honor money too much. All of these people, like I saw Axe say that, and I retweeted it. I thought to myself, Axe said, I'm glad y'all on the sidewalk with me. That's what Axe said to 21 Savage and Young fucking Thug. It's plenty of room on the sidewalk. Look, man, the accountability in the streets ain't for everybody, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. It's tough. Oh, man, it's tough. It sucked, bro. I swear to God, it sucked. Being a real nigga ain't never got me nothing. Being a real nigga ain't never got me nothing. It may have stopped some shit, but it ain't never got me nothing. But you know what it do give me? That's the reason I ain't got to pop pills. That's the reason I ain't got to get drunk. I could smile in the mirror every time. I could look at this camera and just think to myself as I see myself on the screen like, yeah, well, shit. I ain't traded in nothing to have nothing. Whatever shit I got it I got it for real. And I'm proud of how I got it. You think Lil Rod gonna be proud he got that little $250,000 in court? He done told the whole world that this man was making him sore. Yeah, he gonna get some people that compromise. Lil Rod probably drinking every night because he was over there waking up sore, trying to chase $250,000. Charlamagne got $200 million.
Cash out.
$200 million.
Cash out.
Charlamagne, iHeart, I think Black Effect Podcast, $200 million deal. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to C, bro.
Big bags.
Shout out to C, bro. Jesus Christ.
Big bags, man.
Oh,
so
man.
That goes along with the Netflix move that they made, right? The Breakfast Club going to Netflix. That was a re-up with iHeart, right?
Yeah.
And actually the Black Experience store also too.
Yeah, Black
goes
yeah,
on.
Yeah, Black,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can say label. You can call it a label. You call it a company. What you call it? Label.
I don't know what he calls quite the. It's just a podcast.
Media company.
I'm so happy, bro, because he's such an all right dude, man.
Yeah, cool.
You know, shout out to everybody who feel like the streets is losing because they think Gunna's winning. No, the streets is winning because Kendrick Lamar is winning. That's a little street dude that just did it his way, like we all supposed to do. Shout out to the dudes that's doing their thing and trying their best to do it the right way as best as they can. 200 million, god damn. Ooh, that's cool.
I'm not about to say what I'm about to say because I'm gonna leave that alone. Nah, fuck that, man. You say all the time, take a zero off of it.
Yeah. My favorite line. 20 or 200 is all the same. I think once you get past 10, it don't even matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It don't even matter.
He been grinding though, man. He been grinding, man. Charlamagne been grinding, man. I think his rebrand goes unnoticed a lot though too. You know what I'm saying? Like he definitely did like a rebrand. You know what I'm saying? From where we seen him. You know what I'm saying? Where we seen him come from within. You know what I'm saying? Wendy and everything like that. Like playing the villain. I think he kind of stepped out of the villain role, yo.
Now he a villain. Now he a villain to white people.
To white, yeah, definitely, yeah. But his rebrand goes unnoticed a lot, though, man. And I think that when it first was starting, it wasn't being taken on to like the way people ain't wanted. People wanted him to stay in the villain and getting that, you know what I'm saying, everybody and being the shock jock that he was being. You know what I'm saying? I think that he matured, he grew up. You know what I'm saying? He grew up within the Charlamagne person that he is right there, and I think, and he's reaping the benefits off of it now, though. For real. You know what I mean? I think it definitely goes along.
Man.
Yeah, great things, man. Congratulations, man.
Great things, man.
Right, congratulations, man. Charlamagne, man. For real. That's dope. That's super dope.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think every day, bro. Every day, it's a level of BS that we watching happening. Go through these super chats. It's only 5 too. Ooh.
What's up, y'all?
Shout out to Breezy. Thank you for the $2. Trends fade. Real men don't. We need you all. Man, for whatever it's worth, man, it's just worth it, man. They gotta be worth it in the mirror. Breezy, like, if I can't get these dudes to understand how you look in the mirror is everything, it's different. Shout out to Phoebe O'Brien. Thank you for the $5 glasses. Did you go to the toy drive last night? Toy drive is today, or the toy giveaway is today. No, I didn't go. I haven't been to the last like 7 of them, man. I've been really trying to accountability. I've been trying to figure out what am I going to do next. So I kind of haven't been like as open to just going to hang out. Like I got work to do. You know, I got a lot of, accountability. I figured out certain things that I didn't know, and I fixed those things, and now it's like putting those things straight. So you always like, I should have went. I when I looked this morning, I was like, damn, I should have went. You know what I mean? Like it was like, even like with the pop-out, like Dot was like, man, you gonna come? I'm like, nah, man, I got some stuff to do. He like, man, G,
you
come.
went there last minute, right?
He's like, come on, man, like, come on, dog. And I'm like, bro, I got some shit to figure out. Like, man, G, come through, man. And it took me a while to just go through there. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, I have so much work to do. You know what I mean? And I'm not necessarily in the most, fellowship and mood, but I ended up going, and I'm glad I went. And yesterday was one of those days. I would have loved to see Snoop and Dre go to Watson to the projects. Like, I know what that means to people that come from where we come from. You know what I'm saying? So I wish I would have went, but I'm glad they was there, and that's the most important thing. Watts can always see me, you know what I'm saying? But it's rare you're gonna see Snoop and Dre. So that was the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? I'm so happy, and I'm glad Dot went again. Dot never misses it if he's around. People from Watts, seeing people like that, man. If you from Southern California and you know what Watts is, y'all know what it's like for people to see people doing well in life. It ain't a common theme you see in Watts. You know what I'm saying? So that shit mean the world. So I missed it last night. It's today too. I should go by there today when nothing going on, just to go by there. I'll see how I feel. You know what I mean? It's a lot of traffic stuff to do. We'll see.
That traffic's a motherfucker, boy.
Yeah. Shout out to Fee O'Brien. Thank you for the $5. I personally think this is a campaign orchestrated by one camp against the current camp that is winning. You could be true.
That's what it is.
This could be like part of Al Qaeda's, plan.
Al Qaeda.
I'm not mad at that. This could be Al Qaeda's plan. This is all Al Qaeda's partners. I never thought about that.
What, Al Qaeda?
No, I just never thought about that. She's right.
What's that?
All of these are friends of that boy.
Oh, Al Qaeda. I got you. All right, cool.
Al Qaeda.
Al. Okay, I got you.
Al Qaeda.
Well, they ain't worrying about him because they can see right now that stimulus is over with, bitch. Oh man. I don't think that's the top song on the Boy album that he got on it. Ain't nobody rushed to go listen to that song. That pack is done, man. That pack is done. Should have went and got Dot.
Thought about that.
Should have went and got Dot.
This could be a plan from Al Qaeda.
What would be the plan though? Let's think about it. What would be the plan? Like, what plan would he
These
try to be?
All of the people that align themselves with the Al.
Okay.
Maybe it's not necessarily a well thought out plan. It's not like we thinking of like a true genius of workout. But I mean, remember when Thug was just saying like hip hop is in a weird place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like maybe they feeling the pressure. Like these are two of his friends and they shit is down. And they mad at Gunna, and Gunna shit ain't doing incredible or nothing. Like he's doing well, but he's not doing nothing incredible. It don't look like his career is training to go anywhere crazy. But they're looking at that.
So they think that Al Qaeda could come through and save the day?
Maybe they hoping.
Nah. Al Qaeda is focused on himself. That's what it is, though. And he's not focused on coming through and saving the day for them because it ain't.
You don't think it's crazy that the Al is anti-street and now they're anti-street?
But the owl never said he was anti-street. He never said it.
But at this point, it's kind of obvious. He might as well be anti-American.
I think it was coming there. I think it was definitely coming there. I think he was like one rant from basically saying, you know what I'm saying, fuck America. I think he was almost there. It showed when he said that shit to us, and he said that shit over there in UK that time. You know what I mean? But
because remember, 21 don't like his numbers. If Thug didn't like his numbers, these are two of Al Qaeda's top generals.
Future too.
Is that crazy? But Future just not gonna say shit.
Future ain't gonna never say fuck the streets. He ain't saying that. Please don't say that, Future. Please don't. You know what I mean? Just continue on staying there, being who you is, man.
Two of Al Qaeda's top generals now saying fuck the streets. The fallout is crazy.
It's so crazy. It's still taking place though right now though, man. 2.5 years later, and it's still taking place, man. It's still happening. We still seeing the building fall. Still seeing the building fall, man. Lord.
When they both tried to line themselves up with it, and it's like now they
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think it was that obvious, but I am catching it now. Shout out to Lauren C. Thank you for $5. I really wish people would stop co-signing Act. He's becoming a cancer to the culture, in my opinion. He seems to hate what he always wanted to be a part of. That's all of them, though, Lauren. That's all of them.
Becoming, Lauren.
All of them. If you trace back, somewhere along the line, they got denied. Somewhere along the line, they told, and now they mad. Somewhere along the line, things didn't work out, and now it's the streets' fault. They all tried to be street at one time. Somewhere along the line, it probably cost them something, and they don't want to pay what it costs. But this is a whole nother conversation. Shout out to Just Be Yapping. Thank you for the $10. Thug said he wishes hip-hop would just turn into pop music.
Wow.
Thug said he wishes hip-hop would just turn into pop music. 21 said he don't really give a fuck about rap like that. And Aubrey is still suing to end hip-hop and free artistic expressions. It's clear they don't love hip-hop. Facts.
That's what I said. I think that's what it's coming down
to. They really have became anti-hip-hop. Mm-hmm. They like the Ku Klux Klan of rap music.
The Ku Klux Klan of rap music. Break that down for me, please. What you mean?
Like they're on a whole path of I hate hip-hop, the streets. A whole path. And you know what else is really funny? That is true. None of these niggas is really like into like blackness like that. Like they black, but they not into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can remember Thug doing an interview when he was talking about Mike Brown. He was like, man, we don't care about all that shit. We getting money and diamonds and jewelry. I'm like, huh. Man, 21 is from England. Drake obviously is pissed at everybody. There might be something there. I got to do some more homework. That's deep. That's a good one, Just B. That's a good one. Shout out to Dave. Thank you for the $2. Call it the Scholar Crip. Fire.
Scholar Crip.
Shout out to BTG for president. The podcast. Thank you for the $2. Ceiling Fest. Let's talk merch. East Side. That part right there. Definitely got to talk about that. Shout out to RJ. Oh, $100. Man, damn, that make up for all of the few tasks. Thank you, RJ. That's player. Thank you, King. You've always been a blessing. G. I'm trying to just be one last voice that y'all got on this YouTube thing that is honest and transparent and descriptive of what we're talking about. Because I do feel like it is some of our responsibility that you don't quite understand what this shit is about. People don't. So I don't blame it on people for being, ignorant, like not knowing, but I do feel like I have a responsibility to give you more information on it so you're not judging it the way white people judge it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure you guys all know what really this stuff is about. Not just Crippin' and Blood, but hip hop. Like I take my time to learn more about what, black people in these street situations have created and what their intentions were and where things went wrong or where things went right. So I feel like I am obligated to explain this to y'all. Shout out to Baseline. Thank you for the $2. Sub G Trap Table. You check Sugar Free's album yet? It dropped already?
Baseline, what up, baby?
What's good, check it out. I saw him performing with a shirt half on the other day. That nigga crazy as hell. I seen Zoe Osama up there. Zoe was losing it. I ain't gonna lie. Sugar Free is everybody from the West Coast. That's our spirit animal. Like if you turn on Sugar Free, you want to see a West Coast nigga act a donkey, turn on Sugar Free and let Sugar Free be rapping. You will see us just get possessed. You know what I mean? Like he's us in our most primitive form. And that's what his music really represents to us. Like Free is our spirit animal.
Nah, Sugar Free dope.
Shout out to Showers and Skies, or Skis rather. Thank you for the $5. Thug also had the White Album cover and had the hard ER on all his songs.
It was just that first song.
Shout out to Mark Gear. Thank you for the $5. They're mad at the culture because of the battle. Now they want to dismantle it. They do. Maybe they'll start making pop music. He did have the hard ER and all of that songs. He did do that. I remember that.
Yeah, and then the first song, the Ninja song.
Yeah, but that was weird, Trap, and you kind of just wipe it off like,
it was.
Just, it's like, nah, that's very odd.
It was.
Very odd.
But I mean, it's surprising to come from Thug though.
But I think that's the problem. It should be surprising coming from any of us. Shout out to Black October. Thank you for the $5. Glasses. Ho said the streets are done. Come on, Glasses. The clan is crazy. Trap. Mystery Coupe is the highest song played on 21 album.
Which one? The new one?
Mystery
Coupe is the Drake song. That's the Drake
song. To know that they are done. So if Hov said the streets are done, I would need to see it, but I would like to see the context that he said that with. I don't agree with him though, neither. Because it's people in Marcy still struggling, getting it the best way they can. So if Hov said that, I'd be pretty disappointed. No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here, noon Pacific Standard Time. Right here on No Ceilings by Glasses Malone YouTube page. 3 p.m. if you're on the Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for eating your lunch with us. We do this stream to support the No Ceilings podcast. Just dropped a dope episode. You need to go check it out. The No Ceilings podcast is Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcast from. The No Ceilings podcast, executive produced by the new $200 million millionaire, Charlamagne the God, the Black Effect Podcast Network, and iHeart. Feel me? Shout out to mealsbymanny.com, our official sponsor of this podcast, and is going to sponsor the brunch hour. Tentatively, we're looking at May for the brunch hour event. So make sure you start looking at flights right now. I'm trying to give y'all enough time to where you could buy flights for $100 and $140 if you're coming from out of town. But again, the brunch hour is gonna come with all you can eat brunch for a couple hours, bottomless mimosas, a couple really dope podcasts and stream entertainment the whole time. So start looking at your flights in mid to late May. Start looking them up, price them out, and I'm gonna try to give y'all enough time to where you can fly into town, you can find your room, a bunch of stuff for real cheap, so you could be ready to go. It's gonna be around tax time when you could order your tickets and stuff. So just in case you've been, dealing with your kids and Christmas broke you, you'll be able to order them right around tax time. You feel me? And be able to get you some tickets and hotels. And I'm gonna make a lush event, man. I'm gonna make something really dope.
Fire.
Us to come through, and we're gonna make something special. So look to mid to late May for your tickets. Again, the mealsbymanny.com, you won't need a dispensary because it's gonna be dispensary there. I have a sponsor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be Viola gonna be up in there. We're gonna do something. We're gonna have a Viola table up in there.
You ain't gonna need nothing. All your California hopes and dreams will be there.
Yeah.
You don't need to go anywhere else.
For sure.
Again, we sponsored by mealsbymanny.com. If you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, or just tired of cooking, you just want somebody else to cook for you, head over to mealsbymanny.com, MANNIE.com. And if you can't season, it's going to be in LA, Mark. And if you can't season and you tired of using Laurie seasoning salt as your only combination of seasoning, head over to mealsbymanny.com and grab some Hood Fire seasoning. He got a couple different combination of seasonings for all of y'all that's not necessarily great with seasoning, but you could cook just good enough. Head over to mealsbymanny.com, MANNIE.com. Download Clubhouse. We're going to head over to ADHD after this. Maybe even do a Twitter Spaces. One of the other.
Do a Twitter Spaces.
We'll do a Twitter Spaces. And we're going to get further into this whole thing with Thug and 21 and this whole anti-street movement that they got going on. Feel me? So hop on Twitter. We're going to pop it. We're going to politic. Start looking at your flights to Los Angeles.
If you wait the last minute, that shit going to smoke you.
I'll have you with an official date probably by the first week of January, maybe even by the last week of December. But I'm going to give you enough time for all of y'all to fly in, and I'm going to make a memorable event, and I'm going to make your stay in LA something really cool. So again, make sure you get on X. We're going to do a Spaces in about 11 minutes. Much love to y'all. We will see y'all Monday.
Easy.